This is KILMAR GARCIA. Y'all stood up for KILMAR GARCIA, but it didn't say nothing about me. I've been a slave for 40 years. Like I said, you stood up for KILMAR GARCIA and didn't say 2 words about me. That's a shorty documentary about mass incarceration in your prison industry. That's Circuit Judge Susan Souter, all right? And that's Kwai Sanfume. These are the supporters of shorties, all right? And we talking about mass incarceration in your prison industry. It's tax night, taxpayers night, all right? That's my lawyer, Mr. Bailey, and that's a legal notice. Baltimore City, Baltimore County, and Lake County, Illinois. That's the case number, 07CF4988. You feel me? And it's all right there, through the legal lens. That's Senator James Broshin. That's me, and that's notarized, 2009. Block party gets bigger and better every year. All right? Right there it says Davis, who cooks around here. It's all right here, and that's Maryland. See the date? 2009. That's Brian Frost, 2016. Right here, 2017. Maryland Comptroller. All right? A federal and a state audit, and I ain't got that audit yet. That's Brian Frost. See the date? 2012. Jake Davis. That's a forged check. This is all about a forged check that the state didn't want to admit that they accepted. So we go to ddshortman at AOL.com and we look at the AOL account. All right? That's Stevens, Pastor Jerome Stevens from Senator Cardin's office. You see who got that? NBC. All right? Schellenberger should have did this in 2008. A federal and state investigation. All right? Received May 21st. I was still locked up in another state. So they filed false papers with the court. To whom it may concern. I never gave up ownership to my property on Falls Road. And the state accepted forged checks. Ivan Bates, Jessamy, y'all participated in fraud. So did Bernstein. My documentary was about the prison industry and mass incarceration. And Mayor Scott is the star of the show. You feel me? That's a court order 2010 for my property to be returned. That's a court order for my property to be returned. That's a court order for my property to be returned. And it's all right here on the walls of City Hall, so they can't say that they ain't got it. We talking about Baltimore City and Baltimore County. I was a Baltimore City resident, and I own property in Baltimore County. That's 1402 Lochner. See the date? 2010. Sheriff Fisher. And it's very detailed. That's President Obama. That's Eric Holder. That's the Department of Justice. That's the FBI. And it's all right here. And it's notarized. It makes it legal in any state in this country. And it's on the walls of City Hall. You feel me? So we're going to take a walk down the street right to the door because they got the fencing up. And they was quick to tell me what I can and can't do when I come in there. Shorty, you can't. Shorty, you can't. Shorty, you can't. It's taxpayers night. Stop telling me what I can't do and start telling me what you're going to do. Are you going to defend my rights? Because right here is through the legal lens. If I go inside or not, it really don't matter to me. Because you got to walk through this line. That's the front door. You got to walk through that line. And that's Zeke over there getting ready to park. You feel me? So when they come out of work at 5 o'clock, they're going to see this. And it's through the legal lens. All right? It's through the legal lens. Public safety. I made y'all a movie. I made y'all a movie. And I showed you parole and probation. Mr. McGee, I showed you payoffs from the police and payoffs to make cases go away. I gave you all that through the legal lens. David Smith, don't gamble with your future. That's Baltimore City. That's Baltimore County. That's Baltimore County Police Department. Through the legal lens. Maryland Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts. Remember Shorty, pull your mask up? Yeah, I don't hear you screaming and hollering at no more. Cause that's Shorty right there. That's Shorty, and that's the controller's office. All right, that's the controller's office. That's Mr. Davis. And that's 2014, the Department of Justice. All right, that's my Department of Justice ID number. And that's the state's attorney's office, right there. We talking about mass incarceration in your prison industry in America. Michelle Alexander wrote the book. I made the movie. That's Governor Westmore and President Trump. That's T.J. Smith. And like I said, through the legal lens. That's Mayor Brandon Scott. That's Baltimore. That's my son Philip. That's Corey McCrae. And that's Linda Dodge from Parole and Probation. That's the FBI. Here it goes. Dear Senator Carter, Delegate Ruff. It's rough out here, man. And y'all never responded to that. That's David Trone. And that's Morgan State University. The Morgan State University. Like I said, I'm making a documentary, so I want to make sure everybody's on the same page. That's Vicki Lawrence. That's Keys. And that's Mayor Brandon Scott. That's Mayor Brandon Scott. You got to produce my paperwork, bruh. These are our delegates. And like I said, the Honorable Anthony Brown, request for guidance for exoneration. And that's what I'm looking for. Exoneration of the Supreme Court. We're all on the same page. It ain't a hard story to tell. It's a hard truth to swallow. And that's what you got to do. Swallow the truth. It's taxpayers' night. And I got first in line. It don't start till 6 o'clock. The early bird get the worm. I'm here to make you squirm. Social media for social change. I don't need 1 million people to march. I need 1 million people to pay attention. So everything that Jane Miller got, y'all got to turn over. Y'all got FCC violations. Everything Fox 45 got, David Smith, since 2007, y'all got to turn over. Everything Ivan Bates got, you got to turn over. And the witness list is going to be scandalous. It's going to be like a real life house of cards. A real life house of cards. You feel me? And I ain't got to change nobody's name. When I say Mayor Brandon Scott, it's Mayor Brandon Scott. When I say Brandon Scott, it's Brandon Scott. And that's Mayor Brandon Scott with my toilet. You feel me? And these are the supporters of Shorties. The board might be tattered, but it ain't torn. And that's Kwa'ise and Fume. And that's me in Congressman Cummings' office. The right to approach our officials and address grievances, the right to protest. And that toilet is a protest toilet. All right? That toilet is a protest toilet. And Governor Westmore, you got it all. So we all on the same page? You stood up for KILMAR GARCIA. What you gonna do about me? Yeah. Now this is the media. And the media participated in this too. I ain't beating up the cameraman, but WJZ know about this. Jane Miller been knowing about this, and she destroyed evidence. Barry Sims, TJ Smith, C4. Yeah. When all this come out, I don't know what y'all gonna do, but y'all gonna have a problem. Because everything I've been doing for the last 20 years is on social media. I don't need 1 million people to march. I need 1 million people to pay attention.